Hello, Internet. We are back in Rising World. Last time I was preparing the metal I need to make an anvil and what I needed to make things with the anvil. The anvil is under crafting stations and it takes 24 of my 47 iron ingots, leaving me with 23. That's more than enough iron for my immediate needs. I'm now going to go around here to place the anvil. Items that have the wrench there next to them are items that you can install. I don't want to block the chest off. I will place it here. So now with the anvil, I can make iron plates, which I will go ahead and make 3 of those. I can make a copper plate, and I can make the copper plates into copper rods. Now I've been saying I need half a piece of copper to make what I'm making. So here we go, utilities. I can make myself the all-important compass, the clock, that uses up 2 of my 4 copper rods. And now, oh, apparently I need 4 iron plates to make a bucket. That's more than I thought I needed. Okay. So, make 3 more of those. And, no reason not to just go ahead and do this. Make myself a sickle. I have a rake I found. I'll make a hoe. And that's all I really need for now. You'd think weapons would make it really easy to kill animals. Possibly the battle axe does. The sword certainly doesn't. Okay, so now I'm going to craft my bucket. Alright, so I now have a clock. Tells me that it's 8:30. Doesn't tell me if it's AM or PM. I'm pretty sure it's AM. Alright, so my compass, the big red arrow points due north. The needle points due north, just like a regular compass. The little red indicator around the outside shows your spawn point, which is the last place that you slept. So I will always be able to find my way back to that little shack now. Okay, so I'm going to, let's see, getting myself turned around here. I'm gonna go, is the sun setting or rising? I'm so bad with directions. You know what, I can figure this out now. Okay, the sun is in the west, so it's actually sunset, not sunrise. This is what happens when I, exit out of the game for a bit. So I'm heading for where I hope I will see water. Oh, there's water, and there is actually another abandoned shack. So let me fill my bucket. And let's check out this shack. I see a piano. I don't see so far a chest. So there might not be any items in here, not counting the furnishings. The furnishings are busted and derelict. I could pick up the broken table if I wanted. Could pick up the old chair. The broken piano plays fine-ish. I'm going to take this with me. Although this is going to lead to a conundrum in that I only have so many inventory places. When I head Okay, so see, this is where previously I would have been lost. I now know exactly which way to go to return to my house. It's going to be a lot easier to find my house. The tricky thing is going to be when I put a bed down at the house I'm planning on building, it will immediately move my spawn point. Now there is supposed to be something, according to the game's wiki and other documentation. There's supposed to be a feature where you can have a temporary spawn point using a shelter or tent, and a permanent spawn point using a bed. And removing the tent or shelter from the map is supposed to restore your spawn point to the bed, the last permanent bed you've used. I have never been able to get that to work. I think that feature may be planned or apocryphal or bugged. So once I leave this shack and put down a bed somewhere else, there's no guarantee I can make my way back here. You've all seen how bad my sense of direction is. Now I can, when I decide to strike out for a snowy forest and find a picturesque spot, I can try to move in a straight line on the compass and then follow that same straight line back. I could also leave myself a trail to follow. The reason I don't want to leave a trail to follow, though, is I'm very much about the aesthetics of my world, and I don't want an ugly set of stone cairns or a line of torches or something to mark this. So I'll have to give that some thought. I've got some time before I leave because I need to gather seedlings. There's something else I need to gather. I discovered something here that is going to inconvenience me. This is mud. The top layer of soil here yields me nothing. The layer beneath it gives me mud. I have 11 pieces of mud. What I need in order to perform agriculture is dirt. And I have to imagine if I'm getting mud here in the border with the tundra, where the dead trees are growing and the frosted plants are growing, it's also going to be mud under the tundra and taiga proper and under the snow. I can't grow anything in mud. I need dirt. So what I'm going to have to do is go past to where the trees are normal. That's an apple tree in full bloom. There are flowers. And start digging. Dig through the topsoil. That looks like dirt. See, now I've got dirt. So dirt is not hard to find. It's just I was not expecting to have to trek dirt in from the outside. I thought I would find plenty of dirt where I'm going. Knowing that I can't count on that, that's one more inventory slot that needs to be picked up before I go. So anyway, let me return to my shack. I'm going to swap some inventory. I should be able to find stone anywhere I go by digging straight down. So if I run out of inventory places, I may have to leave my stones behind and just dig a very, very deep hole underneath my house to get additional stone. So, alright, so I've got my chest here. I'm going to drop that, those, a stack of tomatoes, drop some, okay. Don't need the bucket right now. I'm just gonna unburden myself generally. See, I can hold 2 pages of things in the chest, and the chest holds more than my inventory does. So just because things will fit in the chest doesn't mean I can take them with me. I will probably end up trying to find my way back here once I'm established. It's just a question of, oh, I left without actually doing what I needed to do. Okay, so I need to finish my tools. I made the heads. I'll just reach in through the crack here. I made the heads for my tools out of metal ingots at the anvil. Now I can craft myself a sickle. And a hoe. And I think that was all that I made the pieces for, because I found myself a rake. Alright, so now I'm going to go out into the rain with my sickle equipped. And look for some of these potato plants that I've bypassed. Whoops, I missed the potato. So this lets me collect both the potatoes I would be getting and the seedlings. Now here's something that's going to be tricky, is that I'm not sure that potatoes grow back after they've been caught. When you pick up a tomato, when you pick a tomato off of the vines, you get all of the tomatoes, and it eventually grows back. The vine remains. I'm not sure that's the case with potatoes. Maybe I should do an experiment. Let me go back to my home. I've got plenty of potato seedlings. If potatoes don't grow back, I'll have to be careful and each time harvest some of them with the sickle. Actually, you know, what am I saying? Every time you harvest with a sickle, I was thinking I'd have to, potato farming could get complicated, but I was thinking I'd have to choose between harvesting the potatoes or harvesting the seeds, but as you've been seeing, harvesting the plant with the sickle, I still get the potatoes. So I can have my potatoes and eat them too. Alright. So, let me show you, in fact, how this is going to work. I've got the hoe here. Now, when you use the hoe on ordinary ground, it turns into dirt. Not just dirt, but plowed dirt. I don't think it will work in the mud. Oh, maybe it does. Okay. That's interesting. Let me see if it will let me plant the potatoes there. Looks like it will. Okay, that does simplify things a little bit. I don't actually want to plant it there. You can transplant seedlings by hand before they've really taken root. So let's do some more experimenting. I might not have to trek in dirt after all. I was kind of hoping okay. So this might simplify things. I was kind of hoping to make a more orderly garden. I talked in the first part about the problems of the game using the lumpy voxels as opposed to Minecraft's nice neat blocks, is that it's hard to get things to look right. But you can craft yourself blocks. And if you have a hoe in your inventory, the necessary farming implement, and you have dirt in your inventory, and you're using the block bench, you can craft farming blocks Nice, neat Minecraft-style blocks that you can plant seedlings in. It's very, very handy. I don't think you can do it with mud. I think you have to have proper dirt. I will see, though, because... Is my inventory full? Nope. Why is it, Okay, this is annoying. Let me get I got my rake. There we go. The grass was blocking me from picking up. Okay, so I've got quite a bit of wood now. Let's see if I can make enough lumber. This is going to be wasteful a bit because I don't know if I'm going to have space to carry a pre-made block bench with me. But wood is cheap, and it's going to be even cheaper where I'm going, so... I guess I shouldn't be surprised you can plant potatoes in mud, given that the game has got them growing out of mud. So, let's see if I got enough lumber to make a block bench. Need a little bit more. Did I pack some wood away? I did, in fact, pack some lumber. Okay. So I've got the block bench. And I've got some... Oh, I threw the mud away. Did I put it in the block? In the chest, or did I throw it away somewhere? Let's get the dirt out of my inventory and have the mud. And let's see what it lets me do. This is an experiment. Alright, so... Natural. Nope, it requires dirt. It will not do it without dirt. That's interesting. I wonder if there are any blocks that require mud. Doesn't seem like it. There could be adobe or... you can see it looks like the floor in here is this pattern. Blocks have a material ID, so you can find the one that you used before. That ID number also shows up in your inventory. You can also craft not just neat, even Minecraft blocks, but different shapes to get like a good pitched roof or a ramp or stairs or things. So, alright, so now I know that my choices are planting in whatever natural lumpy mud I find, or I have to trek in dirt. One or the other. I mean, I could also mix it. I don't really want to be carrying around grass. I'm going to drop that. Okay, so also don't have any reason to carry the mud. Items despawn pretty quickly if you just leave them bouncing around the environment. So I've got quite a few seedlings already. There are lots of potatoes just lying around. I'm probably going to have to dump my grass more than once here. Alright. Let's go into the greener lands and look, see if we can find any ripe tomatoes. Alright, 3 tomato seedlings. If they will grow, that's enough to get started. I see something else red. 3 tomato seedlings. Okay, very nice. That's more than enough to get a good tomato farm started. I don't know if you can get a pumpkin. You can. Okay. So I think I found some pumpkins growing out of the mud. Alright. So you do get more seedlings per plant than you have plants. So, okay. figure out which way is home. Boy, I would not have guessed it was that way. Just no sense of direction, absolutely none. So since you get more seedlings back when you harvest a plant, I've really got enough to make a farm of any size eventually. Okay. So this is tilled mud. Let me actually go into the snowy biome, into the tundra, and see if it will let me plant a tomato plant. When I'm actually in here. There's not, okay. That looks like it will work. So, okay. So, if I end up not having enough space in my inventory for dirt, I will be able to plant tomatoes in the mud. And I should have some confidence that they will actually grow, since it's letting me plant them there. I've just been a little nervous because there are literally no tomatoes growing in this border zone. And we have a very foggy day here. This would make me really nervous if I didn't have the compass. Alright. So, here we go. I'm gonna start digging some dirt. I'm going to try to get a full stack of 64 dirt. That'll make an 8 by 8. An 8 by 8 farm plot. Once I am settled, I can leave my home and go in any direction until I find non-muddy ground and get more dirt. And I'll always be able to find my way back home. It's just any particular point that's not my home space, that doesn't have the compass pointing to it, it's going to be iffy that I can find again. Stopping for some tomatoes because my thirst and hunger were both getting into the yellow zones. I'm digging mostly horizontally instead of down, so I don't have to worry about leaving myself a slope. Although it seems like if I point my mouse down away from the layer of topsoil, I more often get the 3 dirt. I don't know if I'm imagining that. I'm hitting stone. I don't need more stone. So I may not even have to dig that deep to get stone at my house if I choose to leave my piles and piles of stone behind. I think I'm going to leave the pumpkins that I've found because they each take up an inventory space, whereas the pumpkin seeds I harvested stack. So that's more economical. Pumpkins in the future. Oh, and speaking of pumpkins, I'm just going to do the same to this one. 2 pumpkin seeds. Nice. Now that does not give you the pumpkin the way that harvesting the potatoes and tomatoes does. It's either or there. If I happen to find a watermelon, I'll be very happy. Now that I've said it, I think maybe making dirt blocks, it might be two for the price of one, in which case I'm going to have already more than the 8x8 plot to work with. That's good. I'm probably not going to devote more than one inventory space to carrying dirt. So I'll have one stack of 64. I know I got slightly more than that in my inventory, and there's some in the chest. So I don't care how far I'm going away at this point, because I know I will be able to find my way back. Gonna have lots of tomatoes. I'm just hoping to blunder into a watermelon, see if I can get watermelon seeds. More pumpkin seeds. Pumpkins are not good food, but you can make jack-o'-lanterns with them, which are a neat source of light. I don't think I'll need as many as I have. You know what? Might as well be able to produce cotton. I probably won't use a lot of it. To tell you the truth, it's a little annoying working with textiles in this game. It's a very labor-intensive process. Bizarrely realistic. And that you have to spin individual fiber items into thread at a spinning wheel, and then take that to a loom and craft cloth, and then craft whatever items you're making with the cloth. Normally, if I'm planning food supplies, I would be chopping down fruit trees, but since fruit trees in cold climes only give one fruit, doesn't seem worth it. So it's going to be tomatoes, potatoes, and if I happen to find a watermelon, watermelons can be tricky to spot because they're just, green and lying there. Okay, and now I'm back into the cold climb. And it's going to be getting dark soon. And my home is that way, apparently. I'm not going to bother collecting more seedlings. Oh, that's the mine. That's the hole I was digging around in. You can tell because there's a torch lighting my way down. I'm not bothering to collect any more seedlings. I tell you, I think tomorrow's the day. I can't think of anything else that I need. Actually, yes, I can. I should make... No, I don't need a canteen. I've got enough tomatoes to drink. Turning slightly that way. So tomorrow, when the sun rises, I'm going to sort my inventory in that chest. And I am going to set out. Oh, that's not my home, that's the other shack. Okay. So... there we go. Yeah, I think I have more than enough seedlings. I could fill up my the slot, but I'm only going to have so much space to work with when planting them. Alright. So, I'm going to do some initial sorting here. I am going to need all of my tools. I'm going to need the seeds. I'm going to prioritize foods that I have full stacks of. There's not really any advantage to different foods in this game, to eating a varied diet. Oh, that was a full stack. Okay, so full stack, tomatoes. So it's just maximizing inventory space. Okay. And it's dark. I'm going to go ahead. I could have finished messing with my inventory before going to bed, and then I'd have the whole day to travel, but I don't expect that to be a problem. So, I need the bucket. I will go ahead and take... I might have enough space to carry the dirt with me. Looks like I'm going to be fine, actually, on space. So I'll take some rocks. Take a full stack of wool. Take my metal. Okay, I don't need the grass. Do I have any mud? I don't need a second stack of dirt. Let's see, some decisions. I'll go ahead. This is a luxury, but these records are very rare. They're found in chests, but only in some chests, and chests are found only in some shacks. So if I don't take this with me, I might never see it again. And then, let's see. So then it's food or rocks. Now, I have never actually ran out of food in this game. I've never paid much attention to how quickly you eat it or how long it takes saplings to come in. I don't know if it's slower in the in this frigid conditions or what. But once I've got my house built, once I've got my bed there even, I will always be able to find my way back to it. Even if I can't find my way back here, I'll be able to find my way where I'm going. You know what? The anvil. That's what I need to take. I'd have to use a significant amount of my remaining iron if in order to replace the anvil. So I will go ahead and leave the shelter here. I've got one extra item slot. The reason I'm doing it that way is because you can't craft anything if you don't have an open slot for the item to go to. Even if you're using up something, it will not work. So I'm going to need to make a new workbench when I get there. If I didn't have the workbench, if I took the workbench with me, I might have to craft something, and I'd have to put the workbench down. Okay, so my plan here is I am going to head due south from my cabin. And if I can encounter a picturesque place without having to deviate too much from my course, then my cabin will always be... I guess this isn't quite due south. I'm confusing myself here. Okay. So... Right. I mixed up which needle was which. So I gotta go back to my cabin and start over. Okay. Yes, when you're walking away from your house, the home indicator will always be pointing due south, just like when you're heading towards it, it will always be aligned with the inn. Okay. So let me find north. Okay. So it looks like north. I can head north, straight north from my shack, and I will wind up. Actually, let me show you a trick. You have to hold down a key in order to make your compass or your clock appear. If you have your hand empty, you can just press it once, and it will stay there. You can't put the utilities in the hotbar. So this will help me make sure that I'm heading exactly north. Another thing that might be a glitch, don't know if it's intentional or not, the shift key makes you run. If you press forward first, the W key, and then hit shift, you can let go of W and you'll just keep going on. So I'm going on autopilot here. If I can hit the kind of landscape I'm looking for without having to turn aside, I will have an easy way back to the shack where I left so much stuff behind. It's not necessarily great stuff, but, you know, it was my first home in this world. And here I'm narrowly skirting a pit. I'm hoping that eventually this route, like the snow intrudes into the green rather than the other way around. Because I don't want to... This is an example of the taiga, the snowy forest. But I don't want to live on the edge of the green. I want to live deep in a winter wonderland. We'll see. Trudging. Looks like I'm going to hit maybe the snow caps ahead. Or no, it's just not done rendering. Okay. So this straight line path might not work out for me. It might just... I have not charted how biome boundaries work. Maybe they just all follow a straightish line. Or I don't know. This is yeah, I can still see green off to the right. I'd really like the opportunity to find my way back to the shack, but such may not be. Stop and look around here. Yeah, this might just continue unabated. Okay, so... So now, I've been walking in more or less a straight line to the north. So now, my home is more or less in a straight line to the south. Okay, is my needle stuck? What's going on here? There we go. I did go a little off course when I was looking around. Okay, so that plan did not work out very well at all. If I wanted to mess around with blazing a trail, I could leave myself a path back to follow. I don't really want to do that. So I'm gonna... See, this is the kind of general vista I'm looking for. Maybe something a little flatter. My idea is I'll find a nice flat section of trees, start clearing trees, use the wood to start building my home. All of that stone that I've been carrying, I will use for a foundation and basement. Okay, you know what? It just occurred to me. Until I put down the bed, my compass is always going to point back to where my home was. So I can find my ideal spot just wandering around the snowy wasteland, and then place an arrow on the map, an indicator telling me exactly what direction I need to walk in to find my way back to the shack. So I don't have to despoil the wilderness blazing a trail. I can go deep, deep, deep into the snowy forest. Or maybe make it in the snowy forest, but on the edge with another part of the snow biome, which might be where I'm heading here. And still have a reasonable chance of finding my way back to the shack. I just gotta give myself an arrow to follow. Okay, so here we're getting into snowy ground. This is the border of the snowy forest and the actual snow-covered polar biome. There is a penguin. This is the kind of... It's very foggy right now. The weather is not good, but this is the kind of place I would like to build my home. Here's, we're back onto the tundra. So I don't want to build on snow, I want to build in the trees. Did you hear that, penguin? This is what I'm looking for. Okay. So let me just follow the edge of the forest and find my optimal spot. Okay, this is pretty flat here. It's near the edge of other biomes. I like this. I like this. Okay. Let's see what time it is. It's 2 in the afternoon. That gives me about 5 minutes until the sun sets. So I should have made or brought a storage item. This is going to get tricky. Alright. I will, for now, drop a thing of stone. Oh, you know what? I can install my piano. We'll just set that there, and I can install my anvil next to it. That will free up some inventory space. Okay. So... Oh! Look at my thirst indicator. Been walking all day. That's why I didn't need a canteen. Alright, so now I've got to harvest some wood. And that's kind of ridiculous, but look at that majestic moose. Sort of posing there behind the trees. Whoops. Accidentally started playing the piano. The pickup key is also used as the interaction key. Okay, I'm gonna have those spruce saplings. They're taking up an inventory spot. I don't want them to get lost or go to waste. Apparently you can plant them directly in the snow. That's good to know. Okay. It takes about the same amount of work to cut down a stump as it does to cut down a tree. Look at this, it's gently swaying. I don't know if I've never noticed that before. Don't know if that's a biome-specific effect or a weather effect. What, but, now I'm trying to cut down the same type of tree here, a spruce and a spruce, because that way the wood will stack in your inventory. Don't got a lot of space to work with. So I'm going to make a crafting station. Very quickly place it. I'm going to use this to make a saw bench, which I did not make before. Now let's see. I can make a small chest for just a little bit of lumber. And this will let me ditch some of my inventory without losing it. Not going to need any metal or rocks anytime soon. This gives me a lot more freedom for how I store things. And there's some logs I missed. Check the time. Still doing surprisingly good on time. Alright, so before I do anything else, let me get my directional bearing for my home. And then I'm actually going to, I want to do this before it gets dark so that I can, so here I am pointed directly at my home. At my old home, I should say. Alright, so this might not be a perfect. Alright, so it's hard to get a perfect directional line. But that's pretty close. I'm trying to make it arrow shaped, but I think I might actually be encumbering its usefulness as a bearing by complicating it. Alright. It at least gives me a fighting chance. And if I get lost on my way there, I can always I will always have the ability to at least try, and if I fail, my compass will take me back here once I make a shelter here. So I'm going to try one more thing, which is to overlay this with, see if I can't get a more exact directional. Alright, so I'm pretty confident that gives me a basic direction. Okay, so it is now coming up on 8 o'clock. 9:30 is when it really gets dark. So what I want to make very quickly is, let's see, a small shelter is going to take sticks. Might take more sticks than I have wood. But there are trees all around. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pick. Okay, there's some. I might not be able to pick up the rest of the logs without chopping down that other tree. Doesn't seem like I will. I guess this is an example of not being able to see the lumber for the trees. Again, I don't want the sapling to go to waste. Also don't want it to complicate where I'm digging, or where I'm building. So, oh, there's another one. Oh, I dropped 3 saplings. I guess those might technically be from different trees. So, yeah. See, wood is cheap. Now coming up on 8 o'clock. And craft some more sticks. I don't remember how many I had. Okay, that's exactly enough. And I just got a text alert, by the way, that we may have launched missiles against a Syrian position, because that's where the world is right now. Can't do anything about it. So I will go to imaginary sleep in my imaginary tent. This, by the way, just severed my connection to my previous resting place. So unless my weird stone and wood arrow leads me home, I might never see that spot in the game again. Okay, I tried to sleep before it was actually technically full dark, and so that did not work. Jumped again. A little distracted by the Syria news. If you're actually watching this video anytime after I put it up, before it has a chance to spread or propagate at all, you probably already know. I spend a lot of time these days parsing political news and world events on Twitter for people. It has actually become my full-time job. So, I am in fact going to at least pause the recording after I go to sleep for the night, which it'll be nighttime in just a few seconds. Notice 1 minute on the clock is 1 second in real life. The sun is setting. I might actually build the house out here on the snowy plain, because that is kind of a nice view. There would be more trees blocking my view of the sunset, but oh, that's weird. The sun was supposed to set there. It skipped because I went to bed. That is so weird. Because I went to bed and then I got back up again. At the moment of sunset, it skipped. That is a weird fun bug. Okay, so I'm going to be suspending the game for now. I'm going to check in with the news. I'll be back with you when I know what's going on. Oh, and I guess I've been playing for about an hour, which is my goal for these videos. So, it's a brand new day in the imaginary game world anyway. When I come back, I will lay the foundation for my house. I'll make a block bench and start turning stone into block, and I'll start laying out my foundation. So, thank you for watching. I hope the world doesn't blow up.